I'm Claire, and this is my mate Anna. 10 years ago, Anna and I drove a Ford Fiesta 10,000 kilometres from the UK to West Africa. We'd bought it off eBay for less than £250. We had no service history and almost no mechanical know-how. The West Africa we saw is a different one now, and today's politics would make this trip a challenge to repeat. Our breakdowns were outnumbered only by adventures, and we got way more mileage from our car than we'd ever hoped for. 10 years later, this is our story. In our last episode, we were on our way from Mali's Dogon country to the border with Burkina Faso when things got complicated.
Look a bit bothered, Claire.
Just chilling, really.
Is it all happy days, is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we left Mali, got our passport stamped, offered to have a new husband, also another offer to buy the car. Things going pretty sweet. Got to the border with Burkina Faso. Decided to just have a bit of a chill, really, because it's nice, some pretty amazing landscapes, lots to do. You can't see it from here, but there is a swimming pool behind the border post, so we're thinking about going there. It's pretty much the only reason that we're still here, aside from the fact that they won't let us into the country. So, we've been told 94,000 sefa each for a visa, even though it's only 10,000 from the embassy. 10,000 would make about €18. 94,000 would make it more like €150. So since we're broke bums as we are, spent all of our money on booze and petrol, we decided to try and wait out, except the Burkina Faso government has a reputation for not being subject to bribes.
Damn it.
In fact, they're all law-abiding citizens here, apparently. So, if he doesn't follow the rules and lets us in the country, he apparently gets thrown in jail. So, given our paperwork to the Malian people, our permission to have the car in the country and everything, our visa's quite probably null and void because we've now been stamped as having exited the country. So, basically, might be time to jump in that swimming pool behind the customs building, because I don't think we'll be going anywhere.
We'd found ourselves in a bit of a standoff with Burkina Bay immigration after they'd quoted visa fees €130 higher each than the listed rates through the embassy. We now had a decision to make. Pay almost €400 more than the listed price and drive only 250 kilometres onto Ouagadougou without breaks, or stand on principle, try and get back into Mali with cancelled visas and car papers so we could retreat 800 kilometres back to Bamako without breaks and get cheaper visas from the actual embassy. We were also running out of food and water for either journey.
And leftovers from Dindins. That's the last of our food too. Grand.
And last of our water?
And last of our water. We're trying to fill that filthy water up with rehydration salts, because that might be the last water us three have to share for a very long time.
In the end, we had more time and principles than we did money, so it was back to Bamako.
So Tom,
Yes.
the brakes are working sort of today, correct? What? Braking power! So, if we don't have the dilemma of the brakes, what other new dilemmas can we come up with?
Do you remember that problem the Isuzu had where we couldn't really turn it off? Because if we did, we couldn't start it again.
Yeah?
Oh, we've got the same problem now.
No, but I mean, let's talk about more important things than the starter motor.
Oh, Christ! How could I possibly forget? We can't get the Marmite out of the jar.
Correct. I got my bread. Where's the Marmite?
That's a bit of a problem.
Oh. But we got no knife. So, possible solutions include pliers. Ends of them looking pretty good. I've even wiped this bit clean already, you can tell. Before, after. Or Lucas's. What are we going with? Lucas's? Alright. Oh no, it's not fitting. Wait. Oh wait. Oh, what? What is that? It's all topped up. What am I supposed to do with that? Okay, you sit that in your mouth. Keep that. Don't want your reused Marmite. I'm doing the pliers. is the bread's gone onto the pliers instead. Hang on. Okay, another attempt at wiping Marmite on the bread has ended up with the bread on the pliers. Fuck, dude, what are we gonna do? We can't even have bread. Fuck you. Look at that. Well, okay. Look at me again.
It's oily.
Sunnies. Sunnies.
I don't want it.
The sunnies?
Yeah.
These?
Wipe it fast.
Sorry, guys.
It's alright, Granny's got greater concerns like how to eat breakfast. Who gives a fuck about breaks? Alright. All this is happening is it's just wiggling around in the jar and not going anywhere. What? Nothing like a knife, is there? Alright, whatever. Mission failed. And our brakes are fucked. The Marmite's most distressing me today, though.
The optimism on the brakes was premature as they stopped working promptly after. We were now pushing for Bamako on a long stretch of road, only stopping to scrounge up fruit and baguettes from the few villages sprinkled along.
That's a bit of lost in translation, because, yeah. I was gonna get one each. But that's a bit more than one each. Unless we pack in plenty of.
We'll buy some red
midgets.
onion and use the last of the balsamic and do a tomato salad.
Yeah. Wow, Claire, that sounds amazing. Let's get some onion.
Yeah. Oh,
We got a
watermelon!
pineapple. Watermelon? What's that?
Watermelons.
We're going. There's too much going on.
I know, right? All the goats are
We got someone passed out on the back.
Yeah, he was driving, now he's tired.
Very tired.
We made it back to Bamako expecting to need 2 days to get our visas and fix our brakes while hanging out by the hostel's pool. We should have known it would end up taking much, much longer.
The city of
Capital city.
cows in the middle of the road, people everywhere.
So,
Lanes down.
alright. Tom, do you want to tell the story to the camera?
I got a new spanner. Do you know why I have a new spanner?
No, tell
Because
us.
we paid to get the brakes repaired.
Well, that
and
could be
he
the
basically
power
just bled the brakes and did something else
Smells like
magical to
clutch.
them. We've driven less than 5k and they lock up and we can't go anywhere. We've figured a temporary fix, but it's not very good. That's about it. I don't know. End of story.
And so, no, that's not really the end of the story because we're going back to the camel.
Ah, home sweet home.
Supposed to be home, that makes it a week now. What was supposed to be, what, a day?
2 days.
2 days.
We were trying to leave Bamako that day after delays left us racing to leave Mali before the number of days on Anna's visa ran out.
But yeah, here we are, pulling up on the home road. Home sweet home. We'll get there. Burkina Faso, we're coming later rather than sooner. That's how we roll.
With the brakes delaying us, we'd need a visa extension from customs before we could leave again. Alright, we're back in Bamako, and here we have Tom talking to the guy who fixed our brakes too well because they decided to jam up while we were driving. Now they're having an argument. And over here we have Anna trying to change her passport with a customs policeman. Anna was now tangled in African bureaucracy where you're never sure if today's solution will just become tomorrow's problem. The officer took cash and left with the passport. When he returned, there was an extra entry stamp by plane next to the existing one by road. It didn't look like an extension, but he insisted it was. We'd have no choice but to find out at the border.
Uh-oh. There goes Tom. What have you got? You got bread?
Some bread.
What more? What more?
A sack of bananas.
That's a good sack of
this
bananas.
is less than a kilo, apparently. Moral of the story, buy bananas off dudes.
They don't have a clue what they normally go for. It's amazing.
Good work, Anna.
This time we were really leaving Bamako and stocking up for the road ahead.
With this, we got some biscuits and some watermelon jam.
The Arabic on the side of the
He's intrigued.
We were now driving towards Burkina Faso's second city, Bobo Dioulasso, and would continue on from there.
Burkina Faso! 1 week later!
So, remember that part where we'd refused to pay artificially inflated visa fees at the border and decided we were better off driving to the embassy instead? Well, when we got to the embassy, it emerged that the costs had gone up 800% that week, but no one had updated the price list yet. In the end, we'd mistrusted a truthful explanation while expecting to be scammed and gone the long way round for the same result.
My fake visa turned out to be fine, so we ran. We ran and we moved Burkina Faso!
Waka Waka had become our new anthem for every time we successfully crossed a border since Mauritania. And today it felt like a proper celebration to pump it through the stereo. Every time we now stopped on the road, we'd have to bump start the car again, since our starter motor was now also kaput.
Bye-bye!
Up here, a go.
It would be 7 hours after leaving Bamako that we would finally hit the outskirts of Bobo Dioulasso.
Trying to find Hotel Zion. Rastaman stops and asks, Hotel Zion.
Since this was the days of paper maps and phones that didn't like to roam, we were trying to find our hotel based on vague descriptions in an aging, lonely planet. Though it had a helpful, rough outline of the streets in Bobo town centre, Hotel Zion had an arrow pointing off map to indicate it was roughly somewhere in that direction. Since there were few street signs in Bobo and no one used the names of the ones that did have any, we needed some local knowledge to complete our journey.
Hello, Claire.
I don't think Tom's in a very good mood.
Oh, Tom's hungry, I think. Should we tease him?
We'd been jumping out of the car on every other block, harassing passers-by for directions. Now, after loitering by the football pitch for a while, we finally got lucky.
Okay, so we're looking for Zion, literally or otherwise, and have found ourselves a guide on a bicycle. So we're just going to follow this woman until we figure out where it is that we're going.
Oh, we're going to Zion. Follow the guide. Zion?
Bonsoir.
Sick.
Ah,
I see Zion.
I see
We have
Zion.
found
Nice.
Zion.
And it looks cool.
Alright.
Now we just had to get settled in and fix our broken starter motor before heading off wild camping in some remoter parts of Burkina. After a night camped out on the rooftop, we were killing time waiting for breakfast, as well as for a mechanic to turn up with a toolbox.
That's chess, early in the morning.
You'll kill yourself if you eat my horsey.
Claire's winning. I got a bit cocky, I think.
Well, we're in a cool place anyways. We found Zion. We stayed up there in the mango trees.
I'm not in check, I'm not killing myself.
And I'm getting a coffee. And that done well yesterday. It's only 4 manky bananas left, 5. And here comes coffee. It's amazing. So we're trying to get some tools for our starter motor. Mechanic's just gone to get his. And Tom and Claire doing capoeira. Show your skills then.
By now, we'd learnt that waiting is an art best practiced at the same time as a number of side hobbies, lest you notice how much time has actually passed.
A lovely roof. Cool place.
When you're running on African time, things happen when they happen, and eventually we'd start making progress.
Oh, starter motor.
I think so, you think? Is bon?
WD-40. The solution to all of life's problems. Yeah. What's that you got there? You making me a hat?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, because you don't like things. I hate things.
Oh dear. What's the story, Tom? Let me, oh, your fingers, hold your thumbs. So, Thomas,
Hello.
what you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Starter motor back in Granny, giving her a new get up and go.
Is this another case of WD-40 wins over mechanic?
It seems to.
With any luck, I guess we'll find out, huh?
Sadly, it was not that simple. Tom had now gone with a mechanic to open up the starter motor in his workshop and see what else needed fixing.
We're waiting to see if there's a broken ball bearing in our starter motor. Look at the granny, she's missing a grill. She's got scrapes on her and the front's a bit pushed in because we decided to push the Isuzu up the hill.
Although we couldn't go anywhere while we waited, we were about to have ringside seats for a whole party going down in the streets.
So they've been doing this all day. This morning we got up and there's just men all over the place sitting down there. And now it's just women and they dancing. And we found out there's a name giving ceremony. So pretty cool. Haven't seen the baby just yet, but put a new bearing into our starter motor. Fingers crossed.
Thankfully, the new bearing did exactly the trick, and we were officially roadworthy enough to make plans to leave Bobo and head into Burkina Faso's countryside the next day.
Where we sleep.
After having spent the day people watching everyone in the streets for our own entertainment, it would be just about time to get a taste of our own medicine as we settled down for the night.
That'd be Claire in a tent reading. So what's going on, Claire? I told you a while ago, I was like, Claire, you're the telly. You didn't really get what I meant then, did you?
No, well, I thought maybe there were some people watching me through the tent. So I turned off my torch for a second, but I didn't see anyone. And then when I turned it on properly and looked out there, I saw...
Oh yeah, that's the chair. That's the chair they would bring out to sit in, and that would be the other chair.
Pulled up, oh wait,
The kids
there's
in.
another one.
That's another kid. That's another one with a tiny kid on top. And another one on the roof. Oh, Granny.
They've all pulled up chairs to watch me through the tent.
Yep. And the ones that's not watching Claire, they're being Tom's magic helpers. Dread rollers. They're all on the bonnet. They're loving Granny. Everyone loves Granny. They are good.
Very good at it.
The light's not good though.
Our time in Bobo had come to an end, however, and we would hit up the Grand Marché early the next day for supplies and snapshots with Dudes in Sweden t-shirts before moving on.
Anna? Yeah?
What's we doing in the mango grove?
It's a lovely mango grove. What's that for?
We're going to get washed. Where are we going to get washed in a mango grove?
We'd spent the day dragging the granny down little dirt tracks and through endless sugarcane fields out into the Burkina Bay countryside so we could find this chilled out spot where we plan to spend the next few days.
We're going up to the waterfalls again. This is waterfalls
On the top.
You can hear it. The birds and the waterfalls.
We'd loaded up with plenty of food in Bobo so we could spend a few days camping off grid and make this place our own little playground in the evenings.
So, where are we going to have a shower tonight if there's no showers where we're free camping, Anna? That's my bathtub, right there. What?
Some left.
Yeah?
During the day, there were small groups of locals visiting the falls as well as a few curio sellers in the mango grove below. While the sun was out, we either sat in the water, lay in the sun, or gorged ourselves on copious amounts of mangoes and cashews grown nearby. It was all pretty chill, calm and collected, except for that bit where Tom wanted to leapfrog across the rocks and twisted his ankle enough to require a bush-crafted cane for a couple of days after. In the evenings, though, we could create private little corners for ourselves in the waterfalls where we could wash off the heat of the day before retiring to our tents after wearing ourselves out from doing absolutely nothing.
What? A hole? You disappeared into a hole? Pretty spec. We're in Avatar. Another waterfall.
We'd been more or less landlocked since leaving Nouakchott a full month earlier, so it was taking some time to get over how lush and green it was here.
So waterfalls everywhere. And yes, we're in Avatar. Look at that, Claire scrubbing away. Mission successful?
So successful.
Alright, let me show you. Our bath. And our shower. Sweet. Burkina Faso. There's Tom's shower right there.
After a couple of days, it was time to camp out under Burkina's 2-billion-year-old petrified sand dunes at Sandu Peaks, and we'll see you there next episode. Hi, present-day Claire here. New episodes will be uploaded every Sunday, so hit subscribe if you'd like to be notified when it's time to watch. Thanks and see you next time.